I am your host for the Startup Junkie Show. I was sitting here with a few members on my team, and we were talking about what we should have coming up on the show this Monday at 12:30 p.m. Central. No matter what platform you're on, we syndicate live on all the platforms. Now, what we were talking about was, whether or not we should present how to write a business plan. Well, one, it takes a whole lot of work to quote unquote write a business plan. And two, I believe business plans suck, okay? And you might be saying, well, AJ, why do business plans suck? Why do so many schools teach you how to develop a business plan? And I would simply say this. More big companies today are acting as startups because businesses moving at such a frantic pace. The only way that you can, keep up with the pace is you have to come up with ideas. You have to quickly disseminate ideas through your R&D, your pipeline to determine whether or not they're a fantastic idea or not, or whether or not, you should even go for it. Okay. Now, the problem with a business plan is it takes entirely too damn long to put it together. One, once you put the business plan together, then in the real world, you send that business plan off to some banker and it sits on their desk for, say, weeks or even months. And then eventually they look at what your business plan is and say if you're missing something, boom, they send it right back to you. Okay. And then you got to do it all over again. Meanwhile, there are people who are actually may have a similar idea as you, and they beat you to the market. You want to know why? Because they didn't do a damn business plan. More big companies are doing what is called a business model canvas. And a business model canvas is exactly what we're going to talk about. See this book here? This is called the Business Model Generation, okay? A business model canvas and the Business Model Generation book is written by Alexander Oshwalder. Now, I got to tell you, at all the tech schools, okay, at Boston, they're pushing the Business Model Canvas. At University of Massachusetts, at MIT, at Harvard, at Stanford, at Yale, any company that's looking to grow exponentially and quickly disseminate whether an idea is a good idea or whether or not they actually have, say, the function to actually create, the actual business itself. They do a business model canvas. And let me give you an example of what a business model canvas looks like. You see that? Now this is live, folks. Okay. I go through, possible revenue channels, how I'm going to communicate with customers, and also, cost structure. In other words, what I'm going to have to pay in order to actually make the business work. In other words, a BMC, a business model canvas, is a way to quickly disseminate whether or not you can, whether or not you can bring a product or service to market, the feasibility of it. Now, you might say, well, did it work? Or does it work? Yeah, it works. All you got to do is Google business model canvas. And then also I'll tell you this business model canvas right here, okay, is exactly what I did to land a radio station, Amazing 102.5 FM here in Houston. What I did was I basically came up with the idea that, for a separate sales force that could go out and sell radio services, sell sponsorships, and ads for the radio station. Okay. This is something that I did. It took me no more than, say, 2 days to do this. Okay. You can do the same thing. And so coming up on the show this week, the Startup Junkie, we are going to test the feasibility of your product or service. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it, whether or not you have the right partners to pull it off, whether or not you understand cost structures. In other words, everything that it's going to take for you to actually pull it off, the type of activities that you need to engage in, the potential revenue streams, how you're going to have your relationship with your customers, what your value proposition is. In other words, what are you actually offering? The channels you're going to use to communicate, the revenue potential in the business modeling itself, or pricing modeling, that is, what you're actually going to need. So if you're serious about business, then you definitely need to tune in to the Startup Junkie. Again, if you see this logo here, the Startup Junkie, yeah, that's it right there. Okay, Startup Junkie. So that's on this social platform, going live 12:30 p.m. Central, Monday and Wednesday. And, it's all about us delivering value to you, one video at a time. In other words, something that you can actually freaking use, okay? Business is so transient today. In other words, it's gone today. It's here today and gone tomorrow. There's so many companies that did not adapt to the new way of doing things. Like shown here on the business model canvas, you got companies like Kodak, who's worth in 99, I think $200+ billion, right? Where are they now? What about Blockbuster? What about Borders? Look, you have to figure out a way to quickly disseminate the feasibility of a business or product or service, whether or not, again, you have the partners to pull it off, the activities that you need to engage in to make it happen, and what your unique value proposition is going to be. Here's the last thing I'm going to say about being an entrepreneur, and I definitely encourage you to tune into the show 12:30 p.m. Central this Monday. And as we discuss a business plan versus a business model, and why I think business plans suck. The last thing I'm going to leave with you about being an entrepreneur. Every entrepreneur sets out to disrupt and change the world, right? They want to come up with some new innovative product or service, something like no one ever has seen before. And I get this quite a bit in my teachings as an MBA professor. Now, the thing I'll tell you is when you're trying to develop a new product or service to disrupt the market, it is better not to create something new, but to improve upon something that's in an existing market. You don't believe me? Here are some prime examples. Airbnb, they were not the first to invent lodging. Okay? They were not. They were not. Uber or Lyft were not the first to invent, taxi driving. Or sharing or giving you a lift or giving you a ride somewhere. Okay? They were not the first. Okay? Google wasn't even the first search engine. Okay? There was Netscape. There was all these different other companies, and so, and even Amazon. Amazon was not the first to sell something online. Okay, so be sure to tune in this Monday, 12:30 p.m. Central. Again, as we discuss a business plan, why I think they suck, and why you should use a business model canvas. Until next time, I'm AJ with ThinkGrids, thinkgrids.com, an Inc. verified company, Startup Junkie, your host. And remember, business does not have to be complicated. Take care.